Dear students, we are going to start with the series of the lectures on some of the topic of the fisheries and starting with digestive system and the physiology of digestion in fishes. This very lecture is divided into three parts. Part 1 consisting of the food and feeding habits of the fish, Part 2 consisting of the alimentary canal, and Part 3 consisting of the enzymes and the digestive physiology of fishes. So starting with the first part, when we are going to talk about the food and feeding habit of the fish, it was Nikolskii 1963 who recognized four categories of food which are eaten by the fish. And those very food items are basic food, occasional food, incidental food, and obligatory food. The food which is preferred most by the fishes and is included in large quantities in the stomach of the fish, it is the basic food. The second is occasional food. The food items which are consumed occasionally by a fish and are next to the basic food, and it constitutes the secondary food item of the fish. The third category is incidental food. The food items which rarely enter the digestive tract of the fish, they comprise the incidental food. Whereas the fourth one, that is obligatory food, it is only consumed during the unfavorable conditions when the favorable food item is not present in nature and it has to eat anything for its survival. It consists of the obligatory food. On the basis of the type of the food, the fishes are categorized into four categories. They are plankton feeders, herbivorous fishes, carnivorous fishes, and omnivorous fishes. The plankton feeders, which feed on the plankton by filtering water through the gill rakers. The gill rakers we shall be discussing later on, because it is the constitution of the gill raker which helps the plankton feeder or a carnivorous fish or an omnivorous fish or herbivorous fish to have its preferable diet. So the fishes which particularly feed on the plankton, they are called plankton feeders, such as Katla, Hilsa elisha, Gadusia chapra, Sirhinus mrigala, Serranus reba, Hypophthalminthes mollitrix. And second category, that is herbivorous fishes, which feed upon different vegetations comprising leaves, pieces of stem of vascular and non-vascular plants, flowers. They also consume unicellular algae and they scrap these algae from the broad lips from the stones as well. The examples are Labiorohita, Labiogonius, Labiofimbriatus, Tilapia, Ospronemus, and Tinopharyngodon. The third, that is carnivorous fishes, which feed upon the materials of animal origin, such as mollusca, crustaceans, annelids, fish fry, fingerlings, etc. Whatsoever they eat of the animal origin, they comprise of the carnivorous fishes. And yes, their alimentary canal, their mouth, their lips, their teeth, it is adapted to for the predatory mode of feeding, such as Veligonia atu, Mr. Singhala, Channa stratus, Channa marulius, Notopterus chitala, Calarius batrachus, Glyptothorax species. The fourth one, that is omnivorous fishes, the fishes which feed upon both food and of animal origin as well as the vegetable origin. And we have different kinds of the fishes. Serhinus mrigala, Anabasta studiens, Heteropneustis fossilis, Barbus carnaticus, Tor, Tor putitora, Cypnus carpio, Puntius species, Nemechilus, Beryllius bendelensis, Beryllius barana, Beryllius berylla. These are the fishes which are omnivorous. Then, on the basis of the selection of the food, the fishes are also categorized into three categories. That is monophagic, stenophagic, and uriphagic fishes. If a fish feeds only on one kind of the food item, we call that very fish as the monophagic fish. Whereas the fish which has the narrow range of the food items, that is which feeds on the selected kind of the food items, we call them as a stenophagic. And the fishes which feed upon the variety of the foods item which are available in nature, we call them as the euryphagic fishes. On the basis of the trophic niche they occupy, we categorize some of the fishes as surface feeders, column or mid feeders, whereas bottom feeders. And I mostly give example of the Katla, Rohu and Mrigal as the surface, column and the bottom feeder fishes. We do have the examples of the different other kinds of the surface feeders. They usually they float on the surface of the water body, and they mostly feed on the planktons. They feed on the unicellular algae, they feed on the zooplankton. Okay, then we do have the other examples as well, such as Puntius ticto, we do have Hypophthalminthes mollitrix, we do have the Chandanama, Chandaranga, and then we do have the Hilsa ilicia, then Gadosia chapra. These are the examples of the fishes which are surface feeders. Then we do have the fishes which we call them as the column feeders, are the mid feeders, which occupy the middle column of the water body. Okay, then we do have the examples is Labiorohita, then we do have the Panthea sophor, we do have the example of the tor, we do have the example of the Velagonia atto. Then bottom feeders, the fishes which occupy the bottom of the water body, we call them as the bottom feeders. And these fishes include Labioculbasu, Labiobata, and then Puntia sarana, Sirhanus mrigala, Amblypharingodon mola, Channa marulius, Channa stratus. And mostly what happens in these very fishes, the bottom this content, that is mostly mud, is found in the stomach or the gut of these very fishes. Then we do have the other category as well, but though it is not defined here, these we call them as the detritivores. We call them as the benthic feeders as well, such as prawns, lobsters, shrimps. They occupy the lowest most, you can say, water bottom. And they feed on the dead and decaying matter, thereby they act as the scavengers of the water body. Then on the basis of the manner of the capture of the ingestion, that how these fishes capture their food, how do these fishes feed upon their you can say prey item, we categorize fishes into four kinds, that is grazers or browsers, we do have the strainers, we do have the parasites, and then we do have the suckers. Then when we talk about the grazers, these fishes feed either singly or in the continual bites made in succession. So when these fishes feed either singly or by the continual bites made in succession, these fishes are called as the grazers or the browsers. And examples are bluefish such as Lipomis, then we do have the parrotfish, Scaridae, then we do have the butterfly fish, and various other bottom feeders. They are categorized as the grazers. Then we do have the strainers. Strainers is also the example. These are the strainers. These fishes are the strainers. Then these fishes filter a great amount of the water. So what happens, these engulf great amount of the water, and they strain that very water out of their gills and restrain and they capture the food particles, and then these food particles are shown way towards the alimentary canal. We call them these fishes as the strainers. So the examples are basking shark, whale shark, Katla, Hilsa ilicia. These fishes are called as the strainers, and mostly the plankton eaters are also can be called as the strainers as well. Then we do have the examples of the certain parasitic fishes, such as you must have heard that the parasites are the organisms which avail their own food with the from some other animals. We call them as the parasites. There are certain parasitic fishes as well which derive their nutrition from other fishes and are variously adapted. They have the adaptive mechanism to survive on a host. And these fishes, such as you must have heard about the name of the hagfishes, then lampreys, then suckerfish, then anglerfish. This is the example of the anglerfish here. So these are the fishes which belong to the category of the parasitic fishes. Then we do have the another category of the fishes. We call them as the suckers, the fishes which suck the food materials into their buccal cavities. So we do have the examples of the eels, we do have the example of the tilapia, we do have the example of the cariaceous, then macropodus. These are example of the fishes which derive their food items by sucking the food materials.